Dustin.
Womp womp.
I know, right? A bit of a letdown there.
We were the better team tonight. Just a tough one.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those ones that feels like they got goalied because Ottinger was definitely holding him in there for the first couple periods.
Goalied and power play discombobulated when you lose your main puck moving guy, your board guy, and you practiced with him out there this morning as if he was going to be playing tonight. You're going to be a little disjointed and confused out there. So I'll give the power play a little pass. They tried what they could. They managed to get one there late. Tried to fight back. Outshot a team. Played as tight as they could defensively. Fought through a lot of tough traffic and tried to get some goals by Ottinger, but he shows why he is a Vezina caliber goalie. And also, Dallas just found a way to capitalize on a couple of mistakes that we made defensively. Juleson.
Yeah.
Sorry. Something stuck in my throat.
Is this the kind of game you think that gets Juleson finally pulled out of the lineup for DPD, or do you think this is just like, or do you think that
Lee, I hope so.
Taka just likes Juleson too much?
I don't know. You can't go back to him after this game. After the 2 games that DPD put up, like, I know that he's supposed to go play in the AHL All-Star game, but I'd much rather see him in the lineup on Sunday here against Detroit in Vancouver rather than Juleson. But we'll see what happens. Juleson, obviously, the breakaway there, not a great look, and then our power play with the shorthanded goal. That's just unfortunate play there with it rolling into the empty net. So
let's see here. I've got the plus minuses out here. Brock Besser -3, missing his JT Miller. Pius Suter -2. Pedersen -2. Jake DeBrusk -4. That's the worst total in a game so far this year, I think.
And he scored a goal.
Yeah. Because, I believe the DeBrusk goal was a power play goal, right? So that wouldn't give him.
Doesn't count.
Yeah. So, but still, being on the ice for 4 goals against is not a good look. And if you're not scoring, even though he did, it's not great. I literally didn't even see Carson Soucy score. Can you tell me what happened there? Because I was not paying attention.
Oh, just kind of like a broken play. Scramble in front of the net. The loose puck made its way to Soucy, and he had a full wide open net to just hammer it home with the big cannon of a slap shot. Puts a top shelf where Mrs. Griffiths keeps the hundreds, as Don Taylor used to say.
I want to ask you about Hoglander, obviously, because that first goal that they scored with Garland, Hoglander gets high sticked. He's bleeding all over the place. And we know the rule in the NHL is you can't play with a bloody jersey. So he switches up the jersey, comes on, and then he creates that play. And Garland's finished too. What can you say about Hoglander's playing the last 4 or 5 games?
Very good stuff. Starting to look a little more like the Hoglander we saw last year, finding a little more of that offensive confidence, driving the middle of the net more, creating chances for his line mates. It was great. And how many 4-minute penalties are we going to have missed against us in these games? Like Garland too. Garland was getting beat up tonight, the poor guy. About 4 or 5 missed calls against him that could have been long power plays. So not that it would have helped tonight. We did have 5 power plays and it didn't look great. There was some good puck movement signs, but obviously Hughes at about 60% out there, I would say. Looking pretty banged up. I hope it's nothing serious, and I definitely hope this means he's going to take a pass on the 4 Nations because he could use the rest.
Yeah, 100%. I don't like the way he was wincing at the end of the night like that. I've got the poll question I haven't quite finished yet. It's got 62 votes so far, so I'll ask you what yours was. How does the trade make you feel today? I'm so sad. I'm so mad. I'm so happy. I don't know how to feel yet.
I don't know how to feel yet.
Yeah. And that is the winning vote, 37%.
Obviously, I'm sad. Like, I know how effective a player JT Miller can be at his best. And I've seen him at his best. Obviously, I watch every game. And what he was able to accomplish last year with the rest of the team was incredible. It's something that we really haven't seen as Canucks fans in a long time. That full team dominance is something that we really hadn't seen since like 2010, 2011. And so it was like, yes, here we go. We finally have a team to build on, because it was a bit questionable through the retooling years where no one wanted to call it a rebuild. And just when things start looking up, it's like, oh no, we're going to go 500 hockey. We're going to have serious locker room problems. It's going to affect everyone, including management, including coaching. I mean, 1 year ago, think about where this Canucks team was and where we are now. And it's just crazy to me. I feel like I'm in the twilight zone a little bit. I'm still not like fully settled from that trade and everything that happened. Like, I'm trying to be, calm about it, and just look at the prospects that we have coming back and see that there is a lot of potential there. However, you can't help but look at the guy you lost and the heart and soul that he brings onto the ice when he's at his best. It's going to be tough to replace that. And the guys that are here now, they're going to have to dig deep and find another gear, because they're going to have to start being the guys that stick up for teammates and that try and take control of a game and put the team on their back. So when they get back to Vancouver, I'm sure that the leadership will have to sit down and have a meeting, and there'll probably be a full team meeting when they get back with management and everything about what the plan is going forward, because that is a big loss. You can't take one of your major leaders out of the lineup and just expect everything to go smoothly off into the sunset. Like, yes, it will help with the locker room drama. Like, him and Petey won't be fighting. People can move forward now. But at the same time, there's a big hole in your team now that needs to be filled. So it's kind of one of those addition by subtraction things. We may have gotten a little worse after that trade today, but in the end, the benefit of the morale in the room will pay dividends, I think, going forward in the future.
Swervin Irvin agrees with you. Donating $2.79. Thank you, Swervin Irvin, for the dono. Quinn withdraw from the Four Nations. I'm begging you. And then he follows it up by saying, come on, they don't even name you as a captain. Such disrespect. Agreed.
Yeah, but I understand why they went with McAvoy. Half the games are being held in Boston, so it's just a publicity ploy. This whole tournament is a big publicity ploy, so I don't look too much into it. I mean, look how hard it is to get Quinn Hughes noticed for the Norris. You really think they're going to make him a captain for a heavily Eastern media-driven tournament?
True.
Sorry, guys.
So Pedersen gets a point on the DeBrusque goal, which is a nice play. Quinn Hughes getting a point on that as well, getting his 45th assist of the year, which is pretty wild. Still probably on pace for like 80 assists, which is insane. And then I wanted to ask you about the hits today too, because it's the first time in a long time that the Canucks actually hit 30 hits in a game, and they did it without Sherwood in the lineup. So, I mean, that's probably a good sign. Looks like Sherwood might be close-ish, but it should be interesting to see how long he's out of the lineup. I was going to ask you about Hedl. Do you think when he gets in the lineup, do you think he gets in the lineup for the Detroit game? And if so, do you think he's playing like second-line center to start?
I would imagine that's the plan for now, barring any other major moves this weekend. I would think they would get him. Everyone's going to get into town tomorrow. They will probably meet the team and everything. And then Sunday morning, they'll probably do a game day skate, morning skate, do some line rushes with him out there, try and get some comfort. And I'm sure it'll probably be kind of a committee thing, him and Suter going back and forth on that second line center role for the first little bit until he gets comfortable with the team. But I would imagine for now he will be slotting in as a second line center, or even maybe playing a bit of wing when we need some speed. He'll definitely bring some speed to the power play. with zone entry. That's one thing that he's pretty much guaranteed to do is enter the zone with the puck on his stick with speed. So he will help our rush play for sure.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear because that's something the Canucks have struggled with. They've been a little bit better lately, but obviously still need to work on that. And I mean, even though the power play only went 1 for 5 today, I think once they got the puck into the zone, they looked pretty dangerous for most part. Although they did have the one power play where I don't think they got a shot on it. But we're doing the 3 stars again, Dustin. How many Canucks made the 3 stars tonight?
Oh, tonight I wouldn't. Well, I maybe give Connor Garland 3rd star. Maybe he's probably the only Canuck that was deserving of a star tonight. But I'm pretty sure this is a Dallas sweep here tonight.
Yeah, I mean they pretty much got it right. I'd say Robertson 2 goals and an assist takes the 3rd star for Dallas. Hintz gets 2 goals and an assist. He gets the 2nd star, and then for unlike last game, the Dallas goalie did deserve to get that 1st star, so he ends up with the 1st star with actually ended up with surprisingly a .897 save percentage and 3 goals against average. So it's kind of funny how the stats don't really scream that they got goalied, but I think that's probably, affected by that late Susie goal that I didn't even see happen.
Yeah, there was, both late goals, right? Like coming with less than 4 minutes left. And also, looks like they took a shot or 2 away from the Canucks, so that'll drive his save percentage down just ever so slightly.
Yeah, they end up with 29 instead of 30, I think. The other thing I wanted to ask you about for tonight's game was obviously with JT Miller out of the lineup. Were you impressed that the Canucks managed to actually just show up and actually compete with a team like Dallas that's so good defensively?
For sure. It would have been tough to focus up, but obviously if look, we don't know what the dynamic was in that locker room. We don't know the ins and outs of what actually happened, but if he was generally the main problem, there's likely an instant feeling of relief over many of the players.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps get your feet going a little bit, especially last game of a road trip.
Mm-hmm.
So some positive things there for sure. But these guys are going to need to get home, talk to their loved ones. That's a big change to this core. So that's going to send shockwaves through the whole team. So everyone's going to kind of need to reset and feel it out tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see how the team plays on Sunday. That's what I'm more curious about. This game was kind of adrenaline probably, and a bit of shock took over, and just go out and play a game and don't think about it. It'll be next game day skate. He won't be there. So it'll be more time to kind of think about it and realize that, we got to change so much again. So hopefully it's not too big of an issue, but obviously these guys are going to have to answer a lot of questions too in the media when they get home, and there's going to be a lot of stress. So this game was nice for them to put out a good effort, and it's just unfortunate they weren't able to get the win tonight.
So Dustin, growing up playing hockey, did you ever play on a team where the coach was one of your teammates' dads?
All the time.
So why are you made a funny comment? I'm starting to suspect if Juleson is Rick's boyfriend.
I saw that comment. That's why I started laughing earlier.
Because it's one thing to coach your kids, it's another thing to coach your boyfriend, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Funny.
He's got dirty pictures or something on Rick.
It seems like every coach has got that. Like Travis Green had a couple guys he'd play, and you'd be like, "Why are you playing him?" Right? Like it just seems like coaches have certain guys they like. Let's take a quick minute to look at the Abbotsford Canucks game against the Coachella Valley Firebirds, because we didn't update that out going back to last Wednesday.
Yes.
Not good news though, because when we updated, I believe it was 2-1 at the end of the first period.
Yeah, it was looking okay. So penalty trouble unfortunately ends the win streak as Abbotsford falls 5-2 to Coachella Valley on Wednesday night. The game started out as a goalie battle, like you said. Not a lot of scoring early. There was no scoring in the first, in fact. But Coachella would open the scoring early in the second with one Jaeger Furcus beating Nikita Tolopilo on the man advantage. What a name.
That is a heck of a name.
And but Abbey would answer with 2 goals of their own from the now New York Ranger Eric Brandstrom and Danila Klimovic. So the Baby Canucks would take a 2-1 lead into the third, but the Firebirds would strike early and often coming into the third period. About 1 minute 41 seconds in, they tied the game, and at 2 minutes 44 seconds, they took the lead on the power play. But as the Coachella player scored on that power play, he was slashed, and that sent them right back to the man advantage. And so at 3:22, Daniel Sprong, former Vancouver Canuck, would make it 4-2 after the Birds' third power play goal of the game.
Hang on. We just got spronged?
We got spronged. And actually, he set up the previous power play goal as well by Ben Myers with a really nice pass across to find him streaking down the left side.
So even the Abbey Canucks suffer from Canucks logic getting scored on by former players.
Exactly. Yeah, and then at 4:54, they would in the period they would get their fifth goal past Tolopilo, pretty much coasting the rest of the way to the win. Abbotsford would manage 11 shots on goal in the third period, but weren't able to get any by the Coachella goalie. So yeah, they were unable to tie their franchise record 9th straight win. And we're looking to start a new streak tonight at home in Abbotsford against the first place Calgary Wranglers. However, it looks like that game is out to a 2-0 deficit after the first period. Calgary getting 2 goals on 8 shots past Arturs Shilovs.
So Artie's in.
And they are going to be starting the second period with 45 seconds left in a power play, it looks like. Oh, no, they scored on the power play to end the period. So they will take a 2-0 lead into the second, and Abbotsford will look to get on the scoreboard here early in the second and try and get back on the winning side of things.
Do you know if is Lekermacki playing in the game tonight, or is he still being held out?
He is not. He is missing his second straight game, so we will keep close eyes on that and see if he is in the lineup tomorrow night, because they have a 2-game set against Calgary here. But and then there's the quick All-Star game break, the 1-2, and then going forward, we'll keep a close eye on his injury. There were no updates on him specifically today, so if he doesn't make it in the lineup tomorrow, hopefully he makes it into the next set of games.
I think what we heard was he's feeling okay. It's not like, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a long-term thing.
Yeah, it didn't seem super serious. He didn't really hit his head or anything. It was just kind of like a car crash. Probably just like a little sore, banged up, a little stiff, maybe a little whiplash. But yeah, he managed to avoid any broken bones or any major injuries, and no head injuries or concussions or anything like that. So he probably just needs a bit of time to rest up and get back on his feet.
Before we get into the next game against Detroit, I wanted to ask you about Carlson and Hoglander, because obviously Hoglander, we already talked a little bit about with that good setup, but man, Carlson is effective on the forecheck. I think his ability to position his body and take the arms of the guy and get the puck away from people has been very impressive. I'm sure Tocchet has been really enjoying those two guys together, because they are absolutely buzzsawing lines out there.
But I would have really liked to see them stay with Petey tonight. I would have much rather seen DeBrusk and Besser with Suter or Bluger just for tonight, because that line with Petey was just starting to find some chemistry last game after 2 games in a row together. And then again, we have the Tocchet line blender going after some wins. Like, what are we doing here? But of course, they were forced to make some changes when the trade came down an hour before game time. So I would expect some more changes to be coming to the lineup Sunday. Obviously, we'll have hopefully we'll have Hedl in the lineup and see what he looks like, and maybe even we see Mancini here soon, given that he has played 15 games this season for New York, and we can always use a little extra help on that right-hand side. So
I think he's got like a goal and 3 assists or something like that for New York, right? Something
Yeah.
along those lines.
So, and he's a big boy.
Yeah, I'd rather have. I mean, I've never seen him play before, and I'd still rather have him in the lineup than Juleson. Does Rick Tuckett hate fun? Because all I want, because now we can't have the lotto anymore. All I want is Bluger, Garland, and Dakota Joshua back together. And tonight they could have done it, and they didn't.
I know. I feel like it's coming though. It's inevitable, right? Like it's got to happen now.
Like Thanos, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And
So
where did it bring you?
Detroit's coming
Back
up
to me.
on Sunday.
Yep.
They played them early in the year, and it was an early game too. What was that? That was the breakfast game, wasn't it? Like a 9 a.m. start or some nonsense like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, it's a 12:30 Eastern. So yeah, it was 9:30 start. What a wild game that was on December 1st. We're playing at 5:00, so a bit of an earlier game too. Detroit has been looking pretty good over the last little bit. They're 6-3-1 over the last few games. They're actually on a 4-game winning streak right now. What do you expect from a Detroit team that, like we talked about when they did the coaching change, they kind of had a good push. They cooled off a little bit. Seems like they've kind of evened out now. Are we a little bit concerned about the Canucks losing 2 games in a row against a team like Detroit?
Detroit's got a lot of power up front. They can score. They just had a game last night where they were playing very, very well, and I think Dylan Larkin played about 25 minutes in that game. I think it was against Edmonton.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they pushed Edmonton right to the brink.
Yeah, they won in a shootout.
Yeah. So you can't really you can't sit back on any team these days. We've found that out. Like we lost to Buffalo. We've lost to Nashville. We beat Nashville this time around, but lost 3-0 to them at home the last time around. So the parity in this league, any given night, any team can beat you. This team obviously got that extra jump when they got a new coach. They have found more scoring lately, so that's good for them, but not for us. But yeah, obviously, any game is you got to be ready. So we will have to see what the Canucks bring, what the lineup looks like with Hedel in, and how that's going to look when we have a different look power play. Like all sorts of things are going to change now. Penalty kill, power play, everything. Miller was a part of it all, so we will see. We'll see what happens.
Should be interesting too. I feel like it's going to be a high scoring game because Detroit is 4th on the power play in the league at 27%. They're also 32nd in the whole league at 69% on the penalty kill. So that's nice. So yeah, 5:00. You going to be around for the first intermission for that one?
I will be around, and yeah, a lot of speed. That's one thing that Detroit brings: a lot of youth and a lot of speed. Lucas Raymond, Alex DeBrincat, Rasmussen, Tarasenko, lot of lethal weapons. Even an aging Patrick Kane has recently found his scoring touch again under the new coach, under Todd McClellan. So we've seen plenty of Todd McClellan coach teams with his years in San Jose, so we kind of know what to expect in the style of play that's coming. So just have to be ready to go and put up a good 60 minutes. If we play like we did tonight, there's a good chance we can win. Couple of chances, couple of bounces go our way, and this is either a tie game or a game that goes in our favor. So
could be interesting to see what happens. The second game of the season against Detroit. So chance to sweep the season series, the home and home series against Detroit, which would be nice to see. Any last words for chat before I let you go, brother?
Don't panic. We cannot judge trades until we get a look at the players, and when draft picks are involved, we can never be too sure who wins or loses a trade. All we can know now is that the drama between Miller and Petey is officially over, and we can move forward and start focusing on something else. And hopefully, this team can start finding a better consistency and winning touch.
Agreed. Thank you for all your efforts tonight, Dustin. We'll talk to you again on Sunday.
Thanks, buddy. We'll talk to you then. Have a good weekend, and thanks for coming by, everybody.
Nothing is perfect.